Pantelidis, Rabbi Weisblum, and Annapolis. Today is a historical day for Judaism in Annapolis. Annapolis, the majestic capital of Maryland and home of the Chesapeake Bay, was known during its earliest days as the Athens of America. For here, one could find a wealth of cultural activities, gracious hospitality, and intellectual stimulation. The Annapolis Jewish community dates back over a century. Knesseth Israel was the first congregation to be established by the Annapolis Jewish community, where Mayor Pantelidis attended kindergarten. The first synagogue building was located a few doors down on Duke of Gloucester Street, where it remained until January 20th, 1963, at which time the congregation moved to the corner of Hilltop Lane and Spa Road, where it still stands today. We are honored to have Rabbi Weisblum as Knesseth Israel's spiritual leader. Judaism in Annapolis continues to grow over the past century with our daily prayer service, weekly learning session, and now construction of the Eruv. In the Torah, the 5 books of Moses, it is written in Exodus chapter 16, verse 29, "Let no man go out of his place on the seventh day." This verse is in the context of collecting the manna bread. The rabbis said, "Let no man go out of his place with a receptacle in his hand." According to this, the manna cannot be collected on the Sabbath because it cannot be carried into the Israelites' homes. Secondly, Exodus chapter 36, verse 6 states, "So the people were restrained from bringing." That was the verse that was expressed. This verse explains that the Israelites refrained from bringing further materials for the construction of the tabernacle. The rabbis believed that this event occurred on Sabbath, not just because no more supplies were needed, but also because the people were not allowed to carry those supplies to the Levite camp. The rabbis derived the prohibited actions of Sabbath from the actions that were performed to construct the tabernacle. Based on this, one explanation is that since this verse is written in the context of the tabernacle, it is appropriate to derive further that the people ceased to carry on the Sabbath. In Jewish law, many people have a custom to build an Eruv, a ritual enclosure, which is constructed in their neighborhood as a way to permit Jewish residents or visitors to carry certain objects out of their home on the Sabbath and on Yom Kippur. The Eruv accomplishes this by integrating a number of private and public properties into one larger private domain, thereby countermanding restrictions on carrying objects from the private to public domain on Sabbath and the holidays. Namely, the Eruv, among other things, allows the people to carry house keys, tissues, medicines. They allow you to wheel baby strollers, and they even have handicapped or injured people use canes or walkers, which they previously wouldn't have been able to use if it wasn't for the Eruv being built. The presence or absence of an Eruv thus especially affects the lives of people with limited mobility and those responsible for taking care of babies and young children. The main incentive for starting the Eruv project was actually to allow us to push our children to synagogue on the Sabbath. After 3 years, I am proud to say that we have completed the Eruv of Annapolis. Mayor Pantelidis, I would like to present you with a map of the Eruv of Annapolis, which covers a few mile radius within Annapolis, bordered by Forest Drive, Taylor Avenue, Primrose Road, and Spa Road. So here's the map of Annapolis, and I know it's highlighted in yellow, which isn't the best highlighting color, but this is the Eruv and the area of the Eruv at this point. So that's maybe, yeah, so you can see where it covers at this point. This project required persistence and dedication through the permit phase, receiving permission to use telephone poles and wires from BG&E and Verizon, to the fundraising and finally the construction phase. After construction is completed, it is customary to purchase the rights to use the land within the Eruv from a highly regarded city official such as Mayor Pantelidis. The land is typically purchased at a bargain, $1 silver. A proclamation, which I have here today, is typically prepared indicating the mayor's consent to land use, thereby permitting the use of the Eruv. Mayor Pantelides, on behalf of the Eruv of Annapolis Incorporated, as Vice President, and with Rabbi Weisblum as President, we ask that you sign this proclamation. So, I have to get it.
With pleasure, I look forward to signing.
I don't know if this is a pen I have. I don't know, it should.
There you go. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And we'll hold up the proclamation for everybody to see.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll put this right here, and then I'll finish up my explanation.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor Pantelides. As the 136th mayor of Annapolis and a highly distinguished and upstanding individual, we are honored to have this ceremony with you, which signifies a monumental leap for Judaism in Annapolis, and hopefully its expansion for many generations to come. In the near future, we hope to expand the Eruv to cover a larger area of Annapolis. I would personally like to thank Rabbi Weisblum for all his guidance, Rabbi Heinemann, who's the rabbi of the Aguda of Park Heights in Baltimore, for his continued guidance, and also to the Eruv donors which made this project possible. In conclusion, I would like to dedicate the Eruv in memory of my sister-in-law, Joel Ben Shmuel. Her Hebrew name is Rivka Bat Henry George, who passed away from cancer at the young age of 32. She had a true dedication for spreading Judaism and observing Torah law. Her third yahrzeit, the commemoration of her passing, is only a few weeks away. May her memory live on through the Eruv. I would also like to dedicate the Eruv in memory of the 3 yeshiva students in Israel who were murdered in cold blood earlier this year by people who have no understanding and appreciation for human life. We should all unite against these despicable acts of terrorism. The students' names are Eyal ben Uriel Yifrach, Eyal the son of Uriel Yifrach, Yaakov Naftali ben Abraham Franco, Yaakov Naftali the son of Abraham Franco, and Gilad Michal ben Ofer Shar, Gilad Michal the son of Ofer Shar. Where they were passionate about following Jewish Torah law and had a love to learn more about Judaism. May the Eruv of Annapolis open a new chapter to expand and strengthen Yiddishkeit, Judaism, and end warfare throughout the world. The honor of Joel, Eyal, Yaakov, Natali, and Gilad will always be honored. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We have a silver dollar, and it says, "This silver dollar, hereby delivered by the president of the Eruv of Annapolis, Rabbi Weisblum, shall constitute payment in full to the mayor for the rental of the rights to the domain within the Eruv district of Annapolis, Maryland, for the purposes of carrying on the Sabbath and other Jewish holidays in accordance with Torah observant Jewish law, executed the 17th day of July 2014.
Right.
And this is for you.
Thank you. That was a lovely ceremony about culture and history.
Yeah,
I was talking to one of my Jewish friends earlier, and I was telling him about this. I said, "What is this?" And he was explaining to me.
Oh, he was explaining to you.
The famous Martin Luther King said, "I have a dream." There are things in life, especially in the life of leadership, you feel like it's a luxury. It's something that way above reality. About 13 years ago, when I came to Annapolis, I had a dream that one day, we may be able to have an Eruv. But many of my colleagues and friends said that this is way too much luxury. It costs too much, it involves too much effort. But I believe that one day it will happen, especially for young people, observant Jews who want to carry on the Holy Shabbat and Sabbath, their stroller, their children, etc. We are very fortunate to have people who dedicate themselves, like David Cohen, David Slion, our congregation president, that dedicated themselves several years ago to make it happen. So today we are writing a new chapter in the long history of religious freedom in the city of Annapolis. Today, it's a day of celebration since now we open the door for people to feel comfortable and be part of our growth in future. I want to take this opportunity to thank several people. First and foremost, for sure, it's to our mayor and the leaders for your help and cooperation, to David Cohen, who took upon himself a lot of time and effort to make it happen, to David Lizchram, our president, and to all the donors and friends that put together and helped this project to happen. Special, heartfelt thank you to Rabbi Moshe P of Knesseth Israel in Baltimore, who came here so many times, guided us, helped us, went over the Eruv domain, and give us so many hours of counseling and advice, for sure free of charge, as well as the yeshiva student of Knesseth Israel in Baltimore, who came here with a special committee and helped us with this construction. I want to thank the contractor, Mr. Yomi, for his help. And again, I want to thank each and everyone for helping this project. This is, as we said, this is a very emotional and special day to each of us. And we believe that this new chapter in the long history of our religious freedom will give our city a great hope and boost it up to see a growth and flourishing for all men in our city of Annapolis. Thank you again.